Alright guys, welcome back to another episode on how to handstand, and in this episode we're going to be focusing on how to warm up effectively for the handstand. Warming up is very crucial, especially when it comes to the handstand, just to make sure that we prevent any injuries from occurring and to make sure that we're performing to the optimum level that we can. So I'm going to take you guys through the routine that I personally do for my handstand training, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys learn something useful. Let's get right into it. In handstands, the most common injury you guys would find is to the wrist, and this is because people do not strengthen their wrist, they don't work on strengthening their wrist, they don't work on warming their wrists up effectively, and in turn there's so much pressure on the wrist during the handstand that their wrists are unable to cope with it. So what you will find in a lot of people who are training handstands is that they will injure their wrist. How to prevent that is to make sure that you warm up really well and you strengthen the wrists and the forearms in a good manner so that there's not much load placed on the wrist and you can perform the move safely. How to strengthen the wrist, we'll work on that in a future video. For now, we're just going to be focusing on how to warm up the wrist. So main wrist warm up that I perform is I'm just going to have my hands flat on the ground. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my fingers are spread apart, so I don't want them together. Okay, I want them spread apart. Spread the wrists apart, keep the knees and the hands on the floor, and from here I just want to lean forward without bending my elbows. So don't bend the elbows, keep them locked and lean forward. Over here you're going to feel a little bit of pressure at the front part of your wrist. That's fine, we want to feel that. So we're going to go forward, lean forward a bit, and then come back. Lean forward, come back. Just easing ourselves through that range. From there, we're going to change the hand position to just come out to the side. So initially, I have my hands here out facing 12 o'clock. Okay. Now I just want my left hand to turn 90 degrees and my right hand to turn 90 degrees. And we're just going to have them facing outwards. And once again, we're just going to lean forward, lean back, lean forward, lean back, forward. Now the last one is where both your hands are going to turn 180 degrees and come all the way down here. Okay, so they're both facing 6 o'clock. You place them on the ground, and with this one you don't want to focus on leaning forward as much as you want to focus on leaning back. So we're just going to focus on leaning back, feel that stretch, and come back. Lean back, forward, lean back. So a few more wrist warm-up exercises you can do is you're gonna have the back of your hand on the ground, just one of them. So we'll start with our left. We're gonna have the back of our hand on the ground. This is a very uncomfortable position, so don't focus on putting too much load on it. Just put enough that it feels a bit stressful, but not that much. You don't want to completely overdo it with this, right? So you're gonna put the back of your hand on the ground. The other one will just be on the ground normally, and now you're just gonna slowly just start moving it through some motions. So side to side, front and back, and just keep going, and then switch hands. So this one's gonna be the normal hand now. This one is where you're gonna put the back of the hand on the ground. Once again, just putting it through the motions, front and back, side to side. Make sure that you are performing all of these exercises before your handstand training, before you begin the handstand training, just so that your wrists are primed and ready to go into the handstand, go upside down and take all that load that you're putting on it. Alright guys, now that you've seen all the different exercises you can do in order to make sure that your wrists are ready for the handstand, we're going to put this into a more structured routine. So we're going to have all the exercises, I'm going to list them down right here somewhere, and we're going to do 2 sets and 10 reps of each and every exercise before our handstand training. Try to make sure that you do this each and every time before you do your handstands, just to make sure you prevent any injuries from occurring. So the first exercise that we were doing is the forward lean with our hands on the floor. So with this one, the first one, where we have it faced at 12 o'clock, our hands, and we're going to lean forward, come back, lean forward, come back, 10 reps. Then we're going to turn our hands to the side, just 90 degrees, both of them, and again lean forward, come back, 10 reps again. Last one is where both our hands are facing 6 o'clock, and again we're going to do the same thing 10 reps. This time we're just focusing on leaning back. So we lean back, come forward, lean back, come forward. Again, 10 reps of those. The last one is where we have the back of our hand placed on the ground, one of them, and then the other one is normal. And we're just gonna move around with this. Try to do again 10 reps of just leaning forward, leaning back, and coming side to side as well. All right. And then we're gonna switch it around and do the other hand. The last thing that I want you guys to do is just wrist circles. So once you're done with those 4 exercises, just before you start your next set of those 4 exercises, you're just gonna go through these motions where you're just turning your wrist clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, and just putting it through the motions, okay? And then you're gonna do the entire routine again, 10 reps of each, all of them, and then you can move on to your handstand training. So please guys, do not take warming up lightly. It is very, very important, especially when it comes to the handstand. I've seen so many people hurt their wrists just because they don't warm up. They just want to instantly get the handstand and get to training the handstand, but they don't realize how crucial this step is. In a future video, I will come on to how to strengthen the wrists, but for now, I'm gonna leave this one here. Please make sure you incorporate this into your training, and see you guys next week. Thank you.